In this match, I decided to go back to an old mech and see if I wanted to get rid of it, and I did awful. I was just playing poorly from the beginning. You'll see me kind of stumbling around as soon as I get dropped. Um, but since I'm free to play, I'm limited in the number of mech or how quickly I can acquire mech bays, and so mech bay is kind of like a character slot in other games. So once in a while I revisit an old mech and see if I want to get rid of it. And this is my least favorite build for one of my least favorite mechs. I only use this one because if you see at the bottom right where it says AMS-2, that's double anti-missile system. So it shoots down lots of incoming missiles, and it shoots out quite a few of its own missiles as well. There's a lot of events in the game that will tell you to both deal damage with missiles as well as shoot down incoming missiles. So this was a good mech for that, but I've just got better ways to do both of those now, so this doesn't really do much for me. And so anyway, since I haven't played this in a long time, I took it out, did pretty badly. I made lots and lots of just poor decisions, and somehow I did okay in terms of damage and all that. We even win the match, spoilers. But yeah, I just, like here, I stick around and just stare down the enemy team far too long. You can already see that happening. You'll notice those missiles are not really hitting me, and that's because I have twin AMS, and looks like my teammates have plenty of AMS as well. Yep, here we go. You can see in the bottom left that my left torso is pretty red. Again, I just stuck around way too long with no cover and not really enough fire support. So I decided to join the NASCAR. And I'm having a hell of a time getting a good target. I mean, I've got this one Thunderbolt that I'm getting some decent damage on. I mean, I got the kill most damage dealt. I don't really feel like it contributed though, to be honest. Even with the KMDD. I didn't, blow off a component. I didn't, even get the killing blow. It just means that I just did lots of damage to him and it just got spread out everywhere. It's kind of how long-range missiles tend to work. I was trying to get my tag on this guy. A tag lets you basically hit more accurately with your missiles, plus it lets you lock on to a target that is normally protected by ECM. So you can't usually lock on to an ECM target. So that Fafnir has ECM, I shouldn't be able to lock onto him. Here I'm trying to target the guy in the back to just signify to my team that, they're coming around our backsides. And at first I decided to maybe try to keep up with the NASCAR, but then I realized that was an awful idea. There were just too many people trying to squeeze into a small area, so I just turned around and faced the oncoming storm. And funny thing is, a lot of the time when you do that, your team wins. I mean, the NASCAR thing is not really a coherent strategy. So a lot of time if you just turn around and face that, again, there goes my side. But yeah, if you put up resistance, they kind of fall apart. Anyway, here I am trying to tuck in and get some cover. But the problem with getting cover on a mech like this is that you can't quickly shoot at a target. You can see how long it takes to lock on. So if I get cover, I just have to sort of wait for a decent target. Sometimes you don't get that. And you can see my mech is in pretty bad shape. If you look in the upper left, it's at 37%. If you look in the bottom left, it's orange and red everywhere. Most of the armor is stripped off on the center. One other thing about long-range missiles, they have a minimum range of 180 meters. There's kind of an exception to that, but I won't go into it. You saw me shoot my teammate in the back with my LRMs. It didn't really do any damage because he was under my minimum range, so they just bounced off. And I think the match wraps up pretty quickly after this, and I just continue to do very little. I wound up with a decent damage score at the end, and I just don't really know when it happened. You know, I mean, here I have kind of less than half my firepower left. Oh yeah, shot my teammate a little bit there. Sorry about that. By the way, I'm doing voiceover for these now because a friend of mine who's pretty new to the game said he didn't really understand a lot of what was going on in my older videos, so now you're stuck listening to me. You're welcome. Also, I upload these for my own sake so I can go back and see what I've done right and wrong in the past. And in a year from now, I probably won't, really remember why I uploaded these things and what might have been significant about the matches. So I decided my friend is right. I should go ahead and do some commentary.
Target destroyed. New target acquired.
So again, I was doing some decent damage on that guy. Missed out on shooting the last target. And we got back in the objective in the center, so we immediately won since all of the enemy team has died. So, I mean, I did pretty good damage. I only got 3 components destroyed, which is usually, kind of a better gauge of how effective you were. No kills. I got 11 kill assists, so, I targeted most every enemy, and I got 4 kill most damage dealt, so I, hit pretty much everyone. But there were people on my team who did much better.